You already know the deal. Just give me a moment, because my phone sometimes wants to act up. Okay. I think that's straight enough. All right, I'm going to give it 1 minute and then I'll get started. Hi, Cicely. How are you? All right, Alicia, welcome, sweetheart. So good to see you here. Let me make sure of something, guys. Just give me 1 second, okay? Because I want to make sure that I have the phone on Wi-Fi, because sometimes when it's on, I gotta remember to put it on Wi-Fi when I log on. Give me 1 second, guys. I just want to see something real quick. All right. I'm trying to figure out a way to do this. Here we go. Wi-Fi. Okay. Wi-Fi. So that way it doesn't like stop in between or anything like that, or freeze on me or on you guys. So I should be good now. So guys, make yourselves known if you're here. Okay. Say hello to everyone. And just make sure. All right, cool. So let's get started. Y'all know me, I like to get started right away, because I know that you guys, you come here to talk to me. I come here to talk to you. We come here to help one another. And, well, you guys know me. I like to just get right into it. So welcome to Intuitive Vibes Narc Survival 101. It's your girl, Erica, here. If you are new to the channel and you are peeking in just to see what's going on, stick around, listen up. You may hear something that may, pertain to your situation. And of course, if you enjoyed today's session, check out the other sessions, check out my other videos. And if you happen to like the videos, or if you find them to be informative, helpful, hit the subscribe button. 2 seconds. Hit the subscribe button and you'll be notified every time. Hey, Amanda, you'll be notified every time a video comes on and every time we do a live, which is every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm getting better at it, guys, because I'm actually being here on time. I'm getting much, much better, and I'm getting better with the setup. So newbies, stick around, listen up. If you have something to add, if you have something to say, it's an open mic night. Everybody gets to say so. Everybody gets to, say what they need to say and feel how they need to feel, because it's no judgment zone over here. All right. So guys, welcome. I hope you guys had a great weekend. My weekend was really, really crazy. My refrigerator broke down. All my food got spoiled. Amanda, hi Yashua. Amanda came to help me, and I just had to clean out that entire refrigerator because all my food spoiled, and I am like so livid. Well, I was livid because, I ended up having to buy a new one anyway. But other than that, it was a pretty good weekend, kind of a crazy start to the week, work weeks. You guys already know how that goes. And well, we'll see how the remainder of this week goes. Weather's getting beautiful out there, guys. It's getting nice and warm. So you know what time of year it is. All right. It's time for all you beautiful survivors to, do yourselves up real pretty, do yourselves up real nice. Go out there. Just make sure you're doing it for you, of course. Go out there and enjoy yourselves. Summer's right around the corner, guys. So do it up big this summer. Okay. Last year we really had we had too much going on last year. So hopefully this year it'll be, a better year, more positive for us, more incentive for us. Let's start doing things that we never got a chance to do, or, we never brought ourselves to do. And let's just really enjoy life, right? Enjoy life, enjoy peace, enjoy summer. And speaking of which, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but I don't have my driver's license yet. Okay, I have a permit, and I have to. And yes, I know, Amanda. I have to call the driving school because I have some more lessons that I have to take. I was taking some lessons out here, but I have some more lessons that I'm gonna take because I'm gonna get a car this year. Okay, I'm gonna get a car. I'm gonna live it up. I'm gonna live it up. I'm gonna enjoy myself. I'm gonna be blasting my music while it's beautiful outside, and I'm just gonna be doing everything that I never thought I could possibly be doing. Or I should say I delayed doing these things. So, but yes, I'm almost 40 years old and I don't have a license. Please don't judge me because I, have a certain phobia when it comes to driving, but I know I gotta overcome that. If I can overcome codependency and narcissistic abuse, I can overcome my fear of driving. So I'm definitely gonna do it. So guys, we're gonna wing it today, okay? We're gonna talk about a lot of different things. I really wish Heather was here today with us. Heather is a very loyal follower, and she's been going through a lot. And I just, when she does have a chance to watch this, just know, Heather, that, we're here for you. You got a lot of supporters here. You got a lot of love. And just know that, you're going to get through it. You can get through it. And by the grace of God, okay? He gives you strength. You've gotten through so much. You've been so strong throughout everything. And I know you can get through this as well. So definitely, Heather, hit me up if you ever need to. If you ever need to talk to me, you know that I'm here. Hopefully she can make it to today's session. But if she can't, I'll reach out to her through email. Guys, what I'm just going to say is if you can please, just send good vibes. Send good vibes to her, send love her way, and just keep her in your prayers. She's really, really dealing with a lot right now, and she's such a kind-hearted person. She's really such a sweet person, and she's just been through so much. And I just want us to all acknowledge her and and really, really share the love with her, share the love for her. Okay, Joshua, why would they use people? And if you fight back, they try to find another way to get you back. Well, Joshua, when it boils down to people who are narcissists, people who are narcissistic, people who are just standard manipulators, they don't expect you to really stand up for yourself. They don't expect you. They actually didn't expect for you to walk away. I mean, given the amount of emotional abuse, verbal abuse, mental abuse, even physical abuse, with everything that has happened, they pretty much figured that, I got you in my web, so I'm going to, here's how they look at it. Okay, we're talking brass taxes here. This is how they look at it. I got you in my web. You are on your knees for me. I've managed to destroy every bit of you, every part of you. I managed to destroy that. I've destroyed your confidence. I've destroyed your self-esteem. I've, manipulated you to believe that you are the one who is the toxic one. You are the one who is the crazy one. You're the one who is pretty much the problem of everything that's going on with us. Okay. And because they think that they have you in this state is pretty much like it's the fog. They have you in this state. So they pretty much figured, well, they're not going anywhere because they're confused. I'm confusing them. I am not really giving them clarity. I'm not giving them exactly what it is they want. And because they're still in love with me, because they still care about me, because, oh, hi, Heather. Hi, you are so very welcome, my love. You're very, very welcome. You know that we're here for you if you need us. Okay, honey? And we all love you very much. But Joshua, yeah, they look at you as you are so in deep with me that while you're sitting here confused and dazed and just with no clarity, no sense of direction. You are just, you're lost. I can go out there in the world, I can do what I want to do, I can play these games, I can manipulate the whole situation. And when I come back, we're going to basically pick up where we left off. Now, that's their mentality. That's pretty much what's going on in their mind. This is why, when it boils down to like ending a relationship with a narcissist, it's crazy how they interpret it as we were on a break. Like that's pretty much how they look at it. We were on a break, and I didn't technically say that it was over between us. I just said that we needed to, just be apart from one another. Or I said we just needed a break because I needed to figure things out. I needed to think about things. I needed to, you get what I'm saying, Yashua? So they pretty much left you in that state of like hanging over a cliff, and you're holding on to a very thin thread. And because you're still holding on, they're pretty much expecting you to be where they left you. Now you decide, I mean, not many, survivors, because, you got to understand, before you become a survivor, you're a victim. Okay. If you decide, like a lot of people have, to stay in victim mode, if you decide to sit there and allow that to consume you and allow that confusion to continue to ruminate, you can end up going back to that same person. But if you, like many other survivors, decide, well, this is what you're doing, this is who you are, and I'm not accepting this. I deserve better. I deserve more than what you're giving. I deserve, this is just unacceptable. And you decide to get up and walk away and leave. When you decide to do that again, they were not expecting you to do that. They were expecting you to be there when they come back or whenever they wanted to come back. They expected you to be there. When you fight them on it, or you like reject them, that's giving them injury. You're giving them narcissistic injury. So now you are, they have this like audacity type of mentality. Well, how dare you reject me? How dare you, walk away from me? These, a lot of, and this is one thing I want to explain. And I was thinking about this, guys, on my way to work. The reason why I separate so many different types of narcissists is because not every single narc is going to be the same. Not every single narc is going to act the same way. Each of them are different. Each of them will show you different sides to them. So you have to kind of figure out which type of narcissist you are dealing with. You have to figure out which type you're dealing with and what types of behaviors are more their MO. Okay? Because you can sit there watching so many videos about narcissists, and you can sit there saying, okay, well, so they're supposed to love bomb, and they're supposed to do this, and they're supposed to do that, and blah, blah, blah. But then what confuses people is when they are not portraying these types of behaviors. Well, I couldn't have possibly been dealing with a narcissist because they didn't do what a somatic narcissist did or what a malignant narcissist did. They didn't do any of these things. You have to kind of figure out what type of narcissist you're dealing with so you know how to respond accordingly. I mean, well, no, you know what? Let me rephrase that. You can respond accordingly with any type of narcissist, but at the end of the day, when it boils down to the types of behaviors, you just basically have to know how to discern certain types of behaviors, how to discern certain types of people, okay? Because a somatic narcissist might not do what a malignant narcissist would do, or a cerebral narcissist might not do what a somatic narc would do, and then you have the introverted narcs, and you have the extroverted narcs. You have the, covert narcs, and you have the overt narcs. So a lot of them are different. I mean, we understand that a lot of what they want out of an entire situation is to gain control and to pretty much destroy people. But this is all because they feel shitty about themselves. Narcissists are one, they're inherently jealous people. Okay. They are very jealous people. Though they may not show it on the outside, they are jealous people. They hate on people, internally hate on people. You can have a friend who is a narcissist and he or she can seriously be hating on you. That's why you see a lot of people talking about fake friends and family members and, just like, oh, different people in my circle, because you can have in your circle narcissists not even realize it. So many people focus on narcissists in romantic relationships when they go through friendships, they go through family dynamics, and you even have narcissists in the workplace. Okay? And they will triangulate. They will, try to make a situation so minuscule, so small into something greater than what it is, all because they want to be the ones at the top of the pyramid. That's their main focus, being the ones at the top of the pyramid, being the ones, ahead of everyone. Narcissistic people look down their nose to people. Okay, they look down their nose to people, and mind you, they can be a lot shorter than you, but they look down their nose to people because it's just like it's a complex. It's, they try to make you feel inferior to appear superior, when the reality of it is that you being yourself, and you're not even trying, you're actually superior, and they really internally deeply feel inferior. And because they can't have that, that's like a big no-no in their book. They have to try to tear you down to lift themselves up. That's what narcissistic people do. They tear you down, they undermine your confidence, they undermine your self-esteem, they make you feel like you are inadequate. When the reality is, they internally feel they are inadequate. But again, they're not going to expose that to people. They're not going to tell someone I feel inadequate. They're not going to tell someone I don't feel good enough. I don't feel, they're not going to tell anybody that. They're just going to sit there and give off this impression because they're secretly in competition with you. And it's crazy how you can be in a relationship with these people. You're not trying to compete with them. You're not. You're not even trying to outdo them or, overstep anything with them. But because you are who you are, because you hold empathy, you're able to sustain emotions, and because you are doing certain things that they feel incapable of doing, they feel the need to, it's kind of, it's that misery loves company. So they feel the need to bring you down there with them. And all this time with you being in a relationship with them, you're trying to, you're stooping lower than your normal level. You're stooping lower to try to lift them up. But what you don't understand is that as you're trying to lift them up, they're trying to pull you down. You guys seen a lot of those pictures and those memes when they say, be careful who you're helping, because, you really don't, like those types of memes represent the kind of dynamic you would have with a narcissist. You could try to help them, you could try to save them, you could try to do, what you feel in your heart God wants you to do, but at the end of the day, you're killing yourself trying to save someone who is trying to destroy you, because they don't really want to be saved. They don't think they want to be saved. They don't think that, they don't feel that anything is wrong with them. But when you fight back and you actually say to yourself, no, I'm not dealing with this. This isn't for me. This is not who I am. You kind of, when you remember who you are, that's when they start to see, okay, oh, so Yasha's getting a little, you're feeling like a big, big man right now. And, that's when they'll try to attack you, because now they feel threatened. So when you start to fight back and you start to stand up for yourself and you start to say, oh, hell no, screw you and the freaking cheap ass horse you came in on, they feel threatened, because now there's that chance of you not only knowing who they truly are, because the mask has already come off, but there's the chance of you exposing them for that. There is that huge chance of you exposing them for that. And because when they go into that threatening position, like, oh, this person is threatening me, they become very vicious. They become very vengeful. they go into attack mode and they will try to attack you. And I mean, listen, it could be physically attack you, it can be emotionally attack you, it could be publicly attack you, it can be all kinds of things. But that's primarily the reason why, Yasha. It's because they didn't expect you to dip. They didn't expect you to gain your strength, and they didn't expect you to stand in your power. Okay? They gave you this false impression, and the false impression is, I want you to believe that you're weak, even though you're not. I want you to believe that you have to worship the ground that I walk on, even though you don't have to. Because if you notice, guys, when you guys got into your relationship, right? When you got into your relationship initially, in the beginning, if there were certain behaviors that happened, and these types of behaviors were little slips, okay? If you notice certain behaviors in the beginning of your relationship, that it's like you're kind of like giving it another look, like you're giving it a double look, like, wait a minute, did this person just say, or you start noticing like little attitudes or little slips of disrespect, but it's instantly followed with an apology in that, I'm sorry. Okay, you know what? I was going to say something about it, but you apologized. But then you start noticing that it continues to happen. It continues to happen. In the beginning stage, you will notice certain things, okay? But when you started dealing with them, didn't you notice that certain things you didn't like, certain things that you would not put up with? And because, if this ever happened in your relationship, if you've confronted them on it, or if you said something about their behaviors, or if you said something about their attitude, and you were stern and you said, no, I'm going to tell you right now, that'll be the first and last time you talk to me like that. Or that'll be the first and last time that we're going to have a discussion about this. If you noticed how they stand at attention when you stand up for yourself, it's because they had to pretty much catch themselves. Okay, it's a little too soon for me to show who I am because I really don't have this person deep in it yet. So what do? They readjust their mask, and everything seems fine from that point on. You're in the honeymoon stage, everything's all gravy, you guys are in love, everything is all good. But over time, okay, and this is why when they say high relax, they say that, emotional abuse, mental abuse, people have a hard time believing, because you can't prove these things, guys. You cannot prove emotional abuse. You cannot prove mental abuse. You can prove physical abuse because those are scars that people can see. But because you cannot prove these things, it becomes harder. It becomes harder to the point where, hi, Green, hi, sweetheart. It becomes harder to the point where you start to actually even question yourself in the interim of the relationship. If certain things are throwing you off, or certain things seem off, and you're sitting there trying to, you're trying to talk to the person, but the person is like, what are you talking about? You're just overthinking things. You need to relax. And what that is that's, they're deflecting. So they're basically trying to avoid, they're evading your, or I should say invalidating. Yeah, they're invalidating. They're invalidating how they made you feel at that precise moment. And they're being, pretty much kind of like covering it up. Oh, listen, I was just joking. You can't take a joke. Oh, you know what? There was nothing serious. It's not that serious. Don't worry about it. Just get over it. Those were covert things. They were doing covert things. And when you got a little whiff of it and you're like, wait a minute. But because the emotional manipulation and the mental manipulation was so deep and so heavy during your relationship, you had yourself questioning yourself. And maybe I am overthinking things. Maybe, you know what? Okay, yeah, maybe it isn't that serious. Because when you start to be more reactive to the bullshit, they start to become more angry, and they start to become more defensive, and they start to really try to push you in the corner. And because you don't want to, rock the boat, you don't want to tip things over, you don't want to lose the person over something so petty. You don't want to lose the person over something that really doesn't, it's not a big deal. You start to question yourself. Okay, maybe I did overreact. Okay, I'm sorry, I did overreact. That was bullshit. That's just because you started seeing certain things and you did not like it, which is fine, guys. It's okay if you start seeing things in your relationships and you don't like certain things. Because why put up with something that you would never put up? You would never put up with. Why put up with something that makes you feel uncomfortable or doesn't make you feel good or invalidates your feelings? Why put up with these things? Don't. Don't ever feel bad. I just recently put up a video on my Instagram. Stay, the stay away from these people. That's what it's called. And it just tells you, the different types of people you need to stay away from. And one of them is stay away from people who make you feel guilty for expressing how you feel, because you feel that certain things that are being done, said, or whatever is not appropriate, it's not right, and you have every right to speak your mind on it. Cicely, I know it's different for everyone, but what is considered a long-term relationship with a narc compared to a normal relationship? Normal relationships are, it's you and your partner against the problem. Okay, that's a normal relationship. Every relationship is going to have problems. Every relationship is going to have arguments, disagreements. That's what makes things kind of work, if you think about it, because it lets you know. I mean, let's be realistic. Who wants to be with someone where it's like it's just like I kind of like one of those movies where it's just like the perfect, everything is just extremely perfect. There is, it's that, to me, in my opinion, guys, is what would make things kind of bland, because everything becomes routine. When you meet someone opposite of your personality, and this isn't a normal relationship, when you meet someone opposite of your personality, you are basically not only learning to coexist with someone who does not always think like you, but who can teach you a thing or two, and you can teach them. That's why they say, opposites attract, because you're able to get to know someone on so many different levels, on so many different planes. And any relationship is going to have their issues. You're going to have your disagreements. You're going to have your stressors. You're going to have, your arguments. You're going to have these so many different things. But what makes it different from a toxic relationship is where you guys are going against one another. You guys are using your trauma, and that's what's binding you. That's what's connecting you. Your trauma is what's connecting you. That's a toxic relationship. It's when, listen, let's be realistic. We're adults here, right? We all got mommy issues. We all got daddy issues. It is what it is. We grew up with certain people who have been raised by other people, and they have been raised with certain types of ethics, certain types of morals, certain types of lifestyles, certain types of restrictions. Okay. We all have our traumas. And when you connect with someone in a relationship based on the trauma that you have, it's going to be extremely toxic. All right. Let me give you a prime example. If you're a girl, okay, let's say you're a woman, and you had, let's say you have abandonment issues. Your father rejected you and he abandoned you. And your mom had to, I don't know, your mom had to either take care of you by herself or just take care of you with other kids. And there was really no emotional connections within the family dynamics. Okay. You are already rejected. You feel rejected. You feel abandoned. Okay. So now what you end up doing is, a lot of females who end up in this situation can, of course, be narcissistic. Okay. Where they can become emotionally numb. They do not emotionally connect with men. Hi, Jackass. They can emotionally, they're emotionally numb. They're commitment phobes. They don't want to be in commitments. And maybe so to the point that they have children, they won't even emotionally connect to their children. This is how female narcissists are created, especially if they have been abandoned by their father and have been raised by their mother, who, of course, has very avoidant attachment. Now, Another type of female this will create is a codependent female. And this is the kind of female who will end up in relationships in search of her father. Okay? She was rejected by her father. So she was rejected by the first man, the man who brought her into this world, the man who was supposed to love her, you know, for every day of her life until his last breath. She was rejected by him. That instilled abandonment issues. That instilled trust issues. That instilled so many things. That fear. It was all fear based. So she ends up in relationships with guys where she is trying to cling tight because she's really in search for her father. That is her trauma. Her trauma is with her father and trying to be in relationships with men, whether they be good men, whether they be toxic men. She'll end up holding on tighter to toxic men because when a toxic man has done everything that they possibly could do to bring her to her lowest point and then try to leave her or try to abandon her, she's going to cling on tighter because she's triggered. She's triggered because of her trauma. You understand? It makes a lot of sense when we think about it. And you know what, guys? We don't even have to go to psychology to understand this. Her trauma is triggered, and therefore, she's holding on to that man who's a liar, who's a cheater, who's a stealer, who's everything. And people are looking at her like she's a damn fool. Why are you with this guy? And he's treating you like this. It's because he triggered her trauma. That is a very unhealthy relationship. Okay. That is what the difference is between a normal relationship. You got your problems, you got your issues, but if the good outweighs the bad, you're in a pretty good relationship. You're in a pretty healthy relationship. But if the bad is consistently outweighing the good, it's not a healthy relationship, especially if what is linking you two together is trauma, whether it be on either side or on both sides. Okay. And I know a lot of you have dealt with female narcs. I know a lot of you have dealt with, female sociopaths. And understand something, guys. I always got to make this disclaimer, guys. I don't make excuses for anybody because people know right from wrong and people know what they are doing when they are doing it. But there is a lot of trauma behind these people. They have experienced a lot of trauma and they've had to live their lives in survival mode. Okay, so if you're dealing with a female narcissist, 9 out of 10 times she was either abandoned emotionally, mentally, and possibly physically by her father. And she was basically brainwashed by her mother, who was probably just as emotionally detached. Okay. And because she's felt rejected, she's felt that she's lost her sense of identity and she is just pretty much on her own. She has to fend for herself. So that's what she has to do by using you guys, by, abusing you guys. That's normal to her. That is normal to her. That's normal in her eyes. But clearly, to us, empathic people, to us, normal people, even codependent people, we know that that is not normal. And we know that that is not right. But codependent people cling on to people like this because people like this represent someone in the codependent's life that was narcissistic. Please let me know if you understand what I'm saying, because it's so hard to try to repeat that. Like, I don't do it by script, guys. I just, it's coming to me. It's all coming to me. So if you understand what I'm saying about it and you totally get it, then you understand why they are the way they are. And if you're codependent or if you're recovering codependent, you understand why you attach to them so much. Okay, let's see. I just want to make sure I got everything. Yeah, Alicia, you know what it is? It's pretty much like, because they're all under different umbrellas, it's one whole umbrella, but then you got like mini umbrellas underneath. And it's just so much trauma. These are people with just so much trauma. and they have abandonment issues. Narcissistic people have abandonment issues, and because they fear that they're going to be left, that they're going to be abandoned, they go into that like fight or flight mode, and they go into that survival instinct mode, and it's like, no, nope, nope, I'm not going to let this happen to me. You know why? Because they're walking with the trauma of the abandonment from the people that were supposed to protect them. So it's pretty much, I hurt you before you hurt me. Okay. I hurt you before you hurt me. I get what I can out of you, and that is it. These people are completely, and the crazy part about it is, it's not that they're not incapable, because they are capable. The guys, they are capable of having empathy. They're capable of having emotions and feelings. They're capable of these things. They just don't know how to tune into it, because all of their wires are crossed. Up here, their wires are crossed. But in the end, if you are old enough to know right from wrong, you're old enough to know, first and foremost, if a narcissist was to come and tell you, I never meant to hurt you the way I did. Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. Because I'm pretty sure, I am almost positively sure, that every single one of you have made the narcissist that was in your life, have made them aware that they are hurting you, and they continue to do it anyway, right? They continue to do what they wanted to do. And in fact, not only did they continue doing what they wanted to do, but they got mad at you, and they started going, through narcissistic rage with you, and started to curse you out, and started to, get all belligerent and irate with you for even bringing it to their attention. So if they come to you and tell you, I never meant to hurt you, I'm sorry if I hurt you. No, you did. You did. You didn't mean to hurt me. You just never expected for me to be where I'm at today. You just never expected for me to see through your bullshit. And you never expected for me to not only learn from it, but grow from it, and actually become more than what even you thought I would be from it. So if they ever try to come to you and say, I never meant to hurt you, that's bullshit. That is bullshit, guys. I'm just letting you know that right now. Alrighty. Let's see. Yashua, they use other people in their family, and they have family allies too, of course. Of course. Every narcissist, in their family dynamics, you have narcissists that have either other narcissists in the family, they have codependents, it's either or. It's either or, because in every family dynamic, you're going to have people that are either flying monkeys, like they could be manipulated, or you're going to have black sheep, which are the ones that are like, yo, what you're doing is wrong. I don't agree with you. I don't agree with this. Everything that's going on in this family is completely, this shit is just completely not for me. And they leave. They like, the black sheep are the ones who not only see through all the bullshit, not only not agree with everything that's being done and everything that's being said, but they will cut off ties with their family. I have seen that. I have seen it, I've seen it not only, in my own family, but I've seen it, in my my ex-relationship. I've seen that. And it's like, the black sheep will basically say, yo, I'd rather struggle and be on my own. I'd rather have peace. When you choose peace over drama, you choose peace over nonsense, you choose, you know what I'm saying? And I've seen it firsthand, where this person did not want nothing to do with the family. They were like, I'm done. I mean, looking at things now, I didn't blame them, but you have different types of people who play different roles in the family of a narcissist. You'll have empathic people in there, guys. Not every single family member is going to be narcissistic or deceptive or, easily manipulated. But you do have other people who are playing their roles. And some of them, because they can be manipulated by a situation, they can be manipulated by the abuser, will act as the pawns You know, they'll act as the pawns protecting the narcissist. So you have to be careful with that too. You have to be careful with that. When you start like dating and you get into relationships with people, you have to really take a look at the surroundings, man. Like really look at the surroundings. I know it's hard for us to stop and say, this didn't look right, that doesn't look right. But you're not thinking to look for certain things. You're not thinking to look for red flags. You're thinking everybody's having a great time. Everybody's enjoying themselves. And yeah, you know, it's like every other family, right? Yeah, they have arguments and this and that, but you're not really paying attention. And for me, luckily for me, I pay attention, but part of me did not address certain things because I was like, yo, it's not my family. It's not my place to address anything. It's not my family. It's not my place to say anything. That was my idea. That was my take on it. And when everything was said and done, you know, I mean, think about it. The people you were dealing with, if you met their family, if you were around them, you know, and they were like constantly welcoming you in with open arms, and you know, you did everything you possibly could in your relationship, and they're like, hey, you know, yeah, come to the family gatherings and come here and come there, and let's do this and let's do that. You were becoming part of that family. They saw, and they knew. Now, unless because it would take some real hardcore manipulation and one-sided bullshit to convince people who were sitting there and witnessing you as a good, loving, caring, you know, partner in your relationship. The narcissist would have really had to have tarnished your name, really had to have dragged your name in the mud, and really had made you to be the abuser or the toxic one for them to just be like, oh, wow, okay, well, that's how that person really is, rather than getting the truth out of things. Because if you notice, after you deal with them, you don't hear anything from their family members. You don't hear anything from them. Oh, well, yeah, I don't get in the mix of that. So you mean to tell me that you've seen me in this relationship with this person? You've seen me contribute to this person and love this person and respect this person and do all of these things, and you don't even have the decency to say, you know, hey, I know that such and such happened between you and so. I really don't know what happened. No, they would automatically just take the abuser's side, you know. And that's why I told you in the video, the narcissist family doesn't give a shit about you, because they don't. Their loyalty is going to be to that person. It's always going to be to that person. So if you are expecting allies out of that family, you need to think about the scapegoats that are in that family. Okay. And my natural instinct was, when I saw everything happen the way it did happen, and everything just turned out, I'm like, wow, I was just here. I was just, hey, Erica, welcoming committee, everybody. Yeah, you know, everything is all good. I went from that to nobody knows my name. Nobody knows me. Nobody said anything to me. Not one fucking word. Nothing. But I guess because I'm not a manipulator, I'm not an abuser, I'm not a liar, I'm not that kind of person. I guess I don't fit in. And that's okay, because I was not born to fit in. And I do not care to fit in with people who can sit there and talk about each other one minute and then act all cool and lovey-dovey with each other the next minute. I'm perfectly fine with that. But you need to look at the scapegoats. You need to look at some of the people who want nothing to do with the family, who choose to stay away from the family, because there is always a reason behind that. Always a reason behind that. Let's see. Always good to have you here, Green. Okay. Hold on. I know somebody had mentioned something. I just want to make sure I don't forget anyone. Everything you say will be used against you, but I love you. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's usually how it is. They'll basically, you know, and it's always something that does not like, if you sit there and you point something out, to them, and it sounds critical. It sounds like you're criticizing them. It sounds like you're judging them. It sounds like you are insulting them when you're not even trying to do that. It just warrants, for them, it warrants their behavior. It warrants their, their rage and their disgusting behaviors and their actions. And it's like, you are being extra for nothing. Like, you are being extremely extra for nothing. It makes absolutely no sense to me. But when you are dealing with someone who is, clearly a walking trigger, clearly a walking trauma, you and you don't know what to expect, because it hits you like a ton of bricks. It really does. Like, it hits you so hard to the point where you question every single thing. Well, wow, was this even real? Was that even real? What they said to me, was that even true? I mean, you just really start to look back and question everything. And it makes you like say to yourself too, damn, I didn't even see this coming, and I thought I was better than that. And this is where people kind of fall into that, feeling that shame and feeling guilt and feeling anger, because it's like, how the hell could that happen to me, of all people? Like, I thought I knew better than that. Let me tell you something, guys. Anyone is capable of attracting a narcissist. So even if you're not a codependent person, if you're a securely attached person, whatever the case may be, you are still capable of attracting a narcissist. You don't know they're narcissist. You don't know who someone is until you really get to know them. I always say you don't know who someone is until you sleep with them. And even then, you don't know who they really are. So everybody else in the world will get a certain perception, a certain idea of, and this is, of course, what they're portraying to the world. But when you're behind closed doors with them, that's a totally different story. Their friends get one side of them. Their friends get a side of them that you're like, well, you even notice. You'll notice the difference. You'll like look at it like, wait, how you are with your friends is different than how you are with me. You're a lot nicer, more calmer, you're more at ease, you're more chilled and cool with your friends. And that makes you question, yet again, makes you question yourself. Well, what am I not doing right that I can't get the same behavior that your friends get? What am I doing wrong that, and you automatically internalize, you automatically blame yourself. Well, they're acting like this with their friends, but when they're with me, it's a totally different situation. It's like you get the Jekyll and Hyde. That's just because who they're giving to you is who they really are. Who they're giving to their friends, someone totally different. Okay? Someone totally different. It's like they done stole someone else's ID and posed as that person. And again, when you're in relationships, if you're in the dating scene, you have to look for these red flags, because these red flags, when you catch them, that's what can save your life. And that's what can save you a lot of heartache, a lot of pain, a lot of stress, a lot of stress. It's always the red flags, guys. We have to start paying more and more attention to them. They want to destroy our identity with it on purpose. Why? I don't know. It's again, it's that internal jealousy. It's that internal hatred. They feel inadequate. They feel the way they do, but because their own parents. And think about it this way too, guys. It has to be really sad being a narcissist, because they, much like codependents, they have been rejected by their parents. They've been rejected by their parents. But the only difference is that as a codependent, we learn to flip it around and not be like the abuser. But narcissists, they walk with shame. They walk with shame, and they walk with that, that I like, just with that in the back of their head. Their parents, hey, Butch, their parents have rejected them, or at least the main important one that was supposed to be that important, role model in their life, they've rejected them emotionally, they've rejected them mentally, in some cases they rejected them physically. So they walk with that. they walk with that, feeling ashamed, like, damn, my own parents rejected me. My own parents couldn't even, show me love or show me emotions, or my own parents, chastised me if I showed emotions. My father made me feel like I wasn't a man if I was an emotional person. My mom made me feel like I wasn't good enough to gain her love freely, that I had to do certain things to gain her love, if they want to call that love. They walk with that internal shame. And because they walk with that, and because they're the main people who were supposed to love them, honor them, protect them, and everything unconditionally, because they've rejected them, they walk around as rejected kind of people. So now, because they can't let you know that, guys, they can't tell you my parents rejected me, so I feel like a reject. They're not going to tell you that. They're not going to tell you that. What they're going to do is they're basically going to flip it around, especially if they see that you are completely different from them. The way you think is different from them. The way you can feel, the kind of love that you have inside of you. Hi, hello, kitty. The kind of love that you have inside of you that you're able to sustain, they are envious of that. They're envious of a lot of different things with other people, and they don't have to be. But because that's what they grew up with, and that's what was ingrained in their mind, they feel that everybody else is a threat. So think about it. If you're walking around town and you have that mentality of everybody is a threat, right? Everyone's a threat. You're a threat, she's a threat, he's a threat. Everyone's a threat. You are instantaneously staying in survival mode. You're just basically, you're in survival mode. And oh, wait, I'm sorry, guys. Give me 1 second. Oh, Raphael, thank you. I love all my followers. I love all my subscribers and everybody who comes here. I love all of you guys, because you guys made the channel. Okay. You guys really are the ones who made the channel. And the fact that I could be here and help you in whatever way I can, whatever way I possibly can, you guys already know me. I ain't going nowhere. I'm not going anywhere until God says it's my time to go. So thank you guys so much. But yeah, if you are dealing with someone who's in constant fight or flight mode, who's in constant survival mode, who feels threatened constantly, you're dealing with someone who will look for any little thing to attack because everybody else appears superior. Okay? You don't have to intentionally be doing it. You don't have to sit there and say, I'm superior than you. I make more money than you. I do this and I do that and blah, blah, blah. You don't have to do any of those things, guys. It's because of the fact that you're showing them something that their own parents didn't show them. It triggers them. Your love, your emotions, your empathy, your feelings, everything you do, it triggers them. It triggers them. So if you're dealing with a male narcissist and you are showing emotions and empathy and love and sympathy and all that good stuff, and they still end up doing what they do, it's because they are triggered. And why are they triggered? Because mommy not so dearest did not do for them what she was supposed to do. And same thing for you guys. If you are dealing with a woman who is a narcissist, she's triggered as well. Because either daddy left and he rejected her, and mommy was I'm gonna calm myself down with the words. But mommy was not so dearest too, and she taught her daughter how to be just like her, which is a non-emotional, avoidant, use everybody for what you can because ain't nobody gonna do it for you. Fuck love and all this stuff. Because why is that? Because mommy was also rejected by probably her father, and her mother raised her to be, you get where I'm going with it, guys? It is generational. It's something that stems from somewhere. Okay. And until, you're dealing with someone who decides this is not normal, this is not healthy, I don't want to live my life this way. That's the only way a generational curse can be broken, guys, is if that person decides to end that cycle. They decide to say, nope, it stops here. I'm going to get the help I need because my children or my child will not pass this on. I will not pass this on to my kid, and I will not have this passed on any further from here. That's why they say generational curses. That's exactly what it is. So it all stems back. It all goes back. But what you're doing is your emotions and everything that you have that you were trying to give them was triggering them. So they took out on you pretty much what they were feeling about their own childhood, their own parents, the people from their past, the people from their family, the people who've abused them. That's all being taken out on you. Which is why I highly tell people don't sit there taking crap from people and just taking the blame. Please don't do that, because that's not your fault. How they handle things, that is not your fault. What they projected was not your fault either. So please don't sit there feeling bad. Oh, well, I could have done X, Y, and Z. I could have done this. I could have done that. You couldn't have done anything, because their problems don't lie with you. You become the solution to the problem that you have created. You become that solution. You cannot be the solution to the problem that someone else has created. They have to go and take care of that themselves. They have to confront the people who have put them in that position. And if the people are no longer here that they can't confront them, then they pretty much have to go for the help that they need, get it out, let it out and let it go and move on, because you can't change the past. None of us can change the past. We can't change what happened. We can't change what was said. You can't change what was done. We can't change it, guys, whether the person is alive or not. We can't change it. But what we can do is forgive, mostly forgive ourselves, but forgive and just say, you know what? This did not make me, and I will not allow this to break me. And just move on with it. Move on with it. Alicia, I totally understand. It was my narc father that made me codependent. You see? And it's and you're not wrong. You're not wrong, because you didn't ask for that. You didn't ask for the trauma. You didn't ask for any of that. And at the end of the day, anybody who came to you and said, well, Lisa, why are you in this relationship? Why don't you clearly? They don't understand. They don't understand how a codependent attaches to a narcissist. It's not because you want to. You don't want to attach to a narcissist. You don't like the idea of feeling, hi, Andrea. You don't like the feeling of being clingy. You don't like the feeling of sitting there and emotionally, relying on someone, depending on someone. You don't like that. You don't want that. But your trauma is kind of like, it's that magnet. It's that magnet. You are magnetized. You're basically, it's, drawn to that person, because that person represents the main male figure in your life that has created that codependency. So that person almost feels like the Cinderella shoe. You know what I'm saying? It feels like the shoe that perfectly fits. And the reason it feels like it perfectly fits is because you are familiar. It's something that felt familiar to you. It was something that you were like, you didn't consciously feel familiar. It was subconsciously familiar to you, and you just kind of like slid right into it. And this is why a lot of codependent narcissist relationships always last longer, because someone who is a non-codependent, who is very well secure and very well don't have to rely on anyone emotionally, mentally, physically. They just want an equal relationship. Dealing with a narcissist, they'll kick them to the curb. This is why narcissists tend to go, like, they look for your codependency. This is why they try to study you. This is why they try to read you. This is why, because they need to know what buttons they can push, what things they can do to lock you in, to make you fall for them, to make you, bow down to them, pretty much. Praise them, worship them. And the more they're abusing you throughout the relationship, the more you're putting up with certain things, you're not saying certain things, the more you're walking on eggshells, the more power it's giving them, the more control it's giving them. The more they're able to say, oh, this person isn't going anywhere. I done said all kinds of hurtful shit to them, and they just started crying like a little bitch. And I'm not calling anybody bitches, but that's their mentality. They just started crying. They just started, and they see that you're not fighting back. You're not fighting them. You're not fighting them. You're not trying to lose them. So you're trying to appeal to them and appease them in every way possible. That's what you're trying to do. And they see that. They know that. And that is why they continue doing it. Which is why I say, guys, when they say, I didn't mean to hurt you, it's bullshit. It truly and sincerely is bullshit. Give me 1 second, guys, because you guys already know the deal with my my phone. But that is what it is. Unfortunately, that's why I want to work really, really hard with helping people break out of codependency, because codependency can be broken. It can be broken. Okay? It most certainly can. It takes time, but it can definitely be broken. And you'll become so autonomous. You will become so in tune with yourself and just consumed with your own self-love. You'll be like, I actually enjoy being alone. I actually enjoy being by myself. The thought of a relationship actually kind of sort of makes me sick. Like, I don't even want to be in a relationship. You'll get to that point because you'll start to realize all of the things that you put up with. You'll start to realize the way people treated you. You'll start to realize, and it's not just with this particular person. We're talking about past relationships, past situations. And you know what? After breaking codependency, it is definitely important that you stay focused on you. Really stay focused on you. Don't even worry about, there's 7 billion people on the planet. Trust me. And there's new people every day. So, you don't have to worry about being in a relationship. If it's meant to be for you, it's going to happen naturally for you, and it's going to happen on your terms. Okay? You're going to live, you're going to love on your own terms. Not when other people try to push you in and say, oh, well, we'll give it a shot, but try this and try that and do this and do that. No, you're not going to tell me when I'm ready. You're not going to tell me what to do. You're not going to tell me how I should feel. When I'm ready and I want to do something, I will do it. If I'm not ready, I'm not doing it. That's it. Okay. Yes, Alicia, your truth and love triggers them because it reminds them that their parents could have done the same thing. Thank you. Narcs are a product of bad parenting. Thank you. Thank you. And you know what? I want to just give me 1 second, guys, because I'm gonna put that up there. I'm gonna put that up there because that is exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. And over time, it got worse because the parents clearly, the children, they don't know. They're innocent. Children don't know these things. They don't know that mom and dad is supposed to validate their feelings. All they know is mom doesn't love me because, I don't know, I didn't do something for her, whatever. I didn't wash the dishes. I didn't get her a birthday present, whatever the case may be, and mom starts to project, and mom starts to kind of like put the child in the whole little scapegoat thing or what have you. And that child takes that as, oh, well, I didn't give mom a birthday gift, So mom, and I'm using this as an example. I didn't get mom a birthday gift. So now mom's giving, giving me attitude and this and that. And, and she's kind of like singling me out. And, they internalize that. That's transactional. That's not love. That's like, you didn't get me something. So you know something, now I'm going to single you out. That's not the way a parent is supposed to raise their children. And that's how a lot of them, if you notice it, like ladies, if you dealt with male narcissists, a lot of them, I mean, they act this way because they resent their mothers. They resent their mothers. And I've said this before. They like females, they like women, they like the feel of a woman, they like the touch of a woman, they like the scent of a woman, but they can't stand women. And it's all gratification, physical gratification, ego stroking. They give you this whole impression that they're good guys, and they're the kind of guys that they do all types of things that makes you fall for them, but then they treat you pretty much how their mother treated them. And it's all about getting their ego stroked. It's all about the next best thing. That was pretty much how their mom treated them. And it's sad. It really is sad. And I mean, as I look at it, I'm like, listen, I'm not your mom. I'm not your mother. I'm the mother to a 14-year-old whom, I'm teaching him how to be emotional, how to process emotions. And my son is so good to the point that when I reprimand him and I tell him he has done something wrong, excuse me, and I'm like, you don't do that, Sean. You don't do that. I'm sorry, guys. And I tell him, you don't do that. And I use a very stern voice. My son hears it in my voice. He hears my disappointment. Mommy's mad. Mommy's disappointed. And the first thing my son does when I tell him, no, this is wrong, that signals to him, mommy is mad. Mommy is disappointed in my behavior. And what does he do? I'm sorry. My son tells me, I'm sorry. And he knows not to do it again. That is a product of good parenting, okay? Because you teach your child. You teach your child right from wrong. You teach your child good from bad. They're not going to know these things. They don't know these things when they're young, when they're extremely young. And my son, being that he has this condition, doesn't know the difference between certain things. I have to make sure that he understands. Once, it takes just once. And once mommy says, no, that is wrong, you don't do that, my son knows not to do it again. But because you're dealing with narcissists, their parents were very lackadaisical with it. They were very just like whatever with it. And it's so sad, man. It's sad. And what's even more sad is that we've had to deal with people like this. And we did not do anything to cause or create these problems for them. So why? But I'll tell you right now, guys, like I said before, they come across your path to trigger something within you. And there's always going to be that one person who's going to be the catalyst that is going to make you break whatever vicious cycles you have been going through in your life. And everything you've ever questioned before about yourself, you're going to stop and say to yourself, holy crap. So when I was in this relationship and that one and the one before that, now I understand. Now I see. And now you get to live your life on your own terms. That's the best part about breaking codependency and breaking the toxic cycle of attracting toxic relationships. You get to have some form of peace because now you know what you're not going to put up with, what you're not going to accept. Okay? And before you ever walk on another eggshell, you'll be sure to kick them down on their knees and smash their head into those eggshells before you ever decide to walk on them again. Trust me. But it's amazing that you guys are talking about this. Sorry I'm late. It's okay, honey. Better late than never, right? And flying monkeys went well above board to assassinate my character, and it really is hurtful. You know what? It is. And just understand, Butch, that flying monkeys are pretty much people who are manipulated by the manipulator. These are the people who are manipulated by the person who's managed to manipulate everyone to believe that you were the one who was toxic, you were the one who was wrong, or whatever the case may be. But let me tell you something, Butch. You know it's not true, right? It's not true. I say, and this doesn't have to apply for everybody, but I say myself, I know it's not true. Now, if you want to talk about me or you want to make me the center of your world and you want to have a bunch of people jump on the bandwagon, by all means, go ahead. It lets me know that I'm on your mind. And it lets me know that you clearly got it in for me. You know, I never had to deal with that. I never had to deal with the smear campaign. I never had to deal with flying monkeys, you know, and that my words my words hold weight. My words hold too much weight. So at the end of the day, I will wrap my words around some ankles and throw them in the Hudson. It's nothing to me. It really is nothing to me. But when you speak truth and you speak with honor and you speak with dignity and you speak with pride and you're just basically putting it out there that, I'm not here to stress nobody. I'm not here to start with nobody. But if you come for me, I'm going to come for you. Trust me, that shit will stop. That will stop. Especially when you have so many supporters behind you. Okay? You have people behind you who are, especially if you have people that have not only witnessed the stuff that you've gone through and have actually really been there for you throughout your entire process, your journey. But in the end, just know that when they talk about you and they are, that's, like cackling, I call them the cacklers, you know, this is why. And it's funny because I was telling a friend of mine, I don't have many friends. I have a couple of friends. I don't have many friends. I have very few people that I keep in my life, in my circle. You know, I've always felt that people who feel the need to like be like, oh yeah, I got 200, 300 friends, whatever the case may be. Those are the kind of people that just need people to validate themselves. They need people in their, hi, magnificent. Hi, sweetie. They need people to really just kind of like boost their ego and make their presence. They do this with people. They just want to feel important. So they have a whole bunch of people that they call friends. And me, I'm like, I'm perfectly fine with the what, 1, 2, 3, 4. I probably got like 5 or 6 friends. Maybe that. Maybe that. But I only keep people who are genuine, and not many people are genuine, which is why I don't keep that many people around me. Everybody else, they're associates. There are people who, yeah, we cool, but we're not cool like that. And people know how I am, and they know how I am. I'm very upfront about it, But these people that are talking, that are just, running with the narratives and following the manipulator and jumping on the bandwagon and, yeah, don't let it get to you, Butch. Don't let it get to you. All right. Just know that you're on their mind and know that you are that important that they have to sit there and gossip and talk all kinds of crap about you. And especially if it's not true. Like, you have to go as far as fabricating shit. You have to go as far as sitting here and trying to throw dirt on my name, knowing that it's not true. And you really think that this is hurting me? Because in the end, it's your truth. Your truth. And if you believe in God, you know that God will leave no stone unturned for everybody. We all reap what we sow. And people tend to think that because they wear the false mask, and I call them, associates of the devil, because that's pretty much what it is. You go making a pact or you make a deal with the devil, and then you want to sit and cry victim because the devil came to collect. Because at the end of the day, that's not the kind of friend you want to make in this life. But that's the kind of friend that they have in this lifetime. Don't let what people say or do, don't let it affect you. the more you walk around not giving a damn what people think, the more people will respect you in that, you know what? This person is doing the utmost to try to, and people will notice. Eventually people will notice and they'll be like, all right, you're still going at it. You're going a little too hard with it. Like, what has this person done to you? What has this person done to you that you have to go through all these measures to try to destroy them? Pay no mind to them, love. They're not worth the time. They're not worth the effort. They're not worth the energy. It's really, they're not worth it. They're really not. Andrea, my ex-narc wanted me to be codependent. He failed. A lot of them do. They want you to rely on them, but in that sense of attaching to them. They don't want you to rely on them in the sense of, because a lot of narcissists do things out of either gaining some type of credit, gaining some type of, like getting the spotlight on them, so that way you can be like, oh yeah, see, look, I'm a generous person. I gave to this person and I did this and that. Or they'll work with the impression of it's an obligation. Like, damn it, if I don't do it because I feel obligated to do it, then this person's going to be mad and they're going to not possibly do something in return for me in the future. So what they'll do is they will do things with attaching the idea of obligation to it. When you can clearly tell them, if you don't want to do it, then just say, I don't want to do it. But of course, they're not going to tell you that. They're very passive aggressive. A lot of the time, they're very passive aggressive. He told me I wouldn't be able to make it without him. Yet he was living in my house, sitting at my table. Girl, I never. Jack he put up the cutest little. That is so cute. It's like it's like a cute little emoji. Cicely, can you talk about dealing with a parent with narcissistic traits, like being too controlling without cutting them off? Talk about dealing with a parent with narcissistic traits, like being too controlling without cutting them off. Well, Cicely, like in the aspect of your parents or in the aspect of co-parenting or someone else who's a parent who has narcissistic traits? Just clarify that for me so I can have a better answer for you. Hi, Tiffany. If I miss you guys, please let me know. I will definitely call your name out and say hello. Because you guys know me, I love to read the comments and I love to interact as well. But sometimes I get so caught up when I'm like, yeah, and I'm making all these points, and I'm like, yeah, and I feel like the little gold stars are coming up. So, Butch, is it just me? But I was pretty upset when the therapist told me I have the codependency issues and that I'm codependent. I thought, no way, what is up with that? It's like learning a new way to live. Well, to be honest, we all have codependency within us. Some just more than others, some more than others. And it's okay to be initially shocked about it because you lived your life a certain way and you didn't realize that you were codependent. I had never realized that I was codependent. I didn't realize that. I thought I was borderline. That's really what I thought. I thought it was borderline, either borderline personality or, because my family, we do have history of bipolar, but everyone, not everyone is going to have it. But I thought maybe either I was borderline or bipolar. And like I told you guys before, even my ex asked me, are you bipolar? And I'm like, you were just talking to me all crazy the other day and you're asking me, I questioned myself and I thought maybe there's something wrong with me. When I went to the therapist, that's what she explained to me. She says, you have codependency. And mine was pretty severe because I never did anything about it. Listen, guys, I would get anxious, like anxiety when, like if my ex went out and, he was going to hang out with his friends. I mean, I didn't tell him, but it drove me crazy because my trust issues kicked in, my anxiety kicked in, my thoughts, like, which is common, and the therapist explained to me, there are common situations that happen with people who are codependents. So, but yeah, I understand how you could feel like, no, no, wait, not me. But it's best that we learn to accept it, but you can change things. You can change change your lifestyle. It's like dieting, but you're doing it to create a healthier setting for yourself. And most of the time, there's, like I said, this is why relationships with toxic people and codependent people last longer. um it's because of that codependency. It's because of that codependency. And I'm glad that I learned about mine, and I'm glad I took the steps to work on my autonomy, and to because you want to, at some point when you decide to get involved and you decide to have relationships with people, you want to start that off on a fresh start. You want to start it off on a healthy start. You don't want to bring all of those issues with you into your new relationship, because if we live in denial about it, it's just gonna it's kind of like a narcissist in a sense. Being a codependent, you learn to just come into acceptance. Okay, I'm a codependent. Okay, cool. What do I got to do to fix it? And they help you. A narcissist, you're telling me I'm a narcissist? No, I'm not the narcissist. You're the narcissist. Instant denial, dude. Instant denial. So if you are, or if you were, and you're going through the motions to get out of it, keep going. Keep going. When I found out my son had autism, I was in shock. I was in shock. And part of me wanted to deny it. Part of me was like, no, not my son, not my kid. But I learned to deal with it. I learned to accept it. And I learned that it's just a process. It's all a process. So majority of the world suffers from some form of codependency. We all have it. Us who probably have it more than others, we have to bring balance back into our lives to even things out. So there's nothing wrong with it, really. I mean, codependency is, it's not a great thing, but it's not like a horrible thing either. You get through it. You do get through it. So it's a shocker at first, but once you start to learn to get through it, you'll be fine. Alicia, I don't do friends for the sake of having friends. The people I call friends are people that I love dearly and they love me. Absolutely. I'm the same way. I've been like that since I was a kid. I keep a very limited amount of people in my group. I don't have, just to seem popular or seem like, oh yeah, I got, 20, 30, 40 different friends. I don't even let people into my house. There's only one or two other people that I let into my house. Other than that, I don't even let people come over. Like, I like my peace a little too much, and I just like doing my own thing. I'm more of a loner, so that's fine by me. Magnificent. Oh, I will. I will. And just know that you can get through it. Whatever it is, you can get through it. And if you need to talk, you know where to find me. So I will always keep you in my prayers, sweetheart. Let's see. I'm sorry. I'm just going through the Yeah, definitely. Magnificent. If you need anything, you know, we're here. We're here for you. And if you need someone to talk to, you know, I'm here. So don't hesitate to reach out if you need to talk. Um narcs, I'm sorry, Alicia. I think narcs dehumanize themselves. They definitely suffer from trauma as children and it's sad. However, their behavior at the end of the day is a choice. They do know what they are doing. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. They do know what they are doing. And unfortunately, you know, it's going to bite them in the ass. Narcissists face their karma one way or another. And I told you guys before, karma could be anything. It could be anything. They could lose something monetarily. They can lose, you got narcissists who have, thought that, oh, I can get away with all this crap or whatever, so much stuff and blah, 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 whatever. And they can end up losing. They could end up losing their jobs. They could end up losing their new supply. They could end up losing anything. They can end up dealing with, with some really damaging, painful stuff. So it's just, they lived up to this. It's that ego. It's just that ego. You know what they say. Before the fall comes pride, right? Okay. So anyone who walks around with a lot of pride and very haughty and very just like, yeah, I got away with this and I got away with that. Listen, we got a very, very vengeful God. And he is not somebody that people want to play with. And a lot of people tend to think that, well, what if they don't believe in God? And what if they don't? All right, you want to take it the other route? We'll take it the other route. What you put out there is what you're going to get back. And it's going to come back to you tenfold. Because if you don't want to, think of it that way, then hey, that energy that you put out is going to be that same energy you're going to get back. And it's going to come back tenfold. Cicely, yeah, if we have a parent with narcissistic traits, how do I deal with a controlling, overbearing parent without cutting them off? Distance, of course, is one. Very important to keep your distance. When it boils down to certain, because it depends also on your situation. I don't know if you live in the same home with this parent, or if you don't, but I would probably suggest the same thing as people who are co-parenting with a narcissist to try to do gray rock. And gray rock is pretty much where you're not entertaining them in that aspect. You are only taking the relevant things out of the situation and dealing with it. But anything else, you're not entertaining. You're not dealing with. You have no time for it. You refuse to become part of any of it. It's similar to dealing with someone if you're co-parenting with a narcissist. It's similar to that. You're just basically no emotions, no reactions. Do not be reactive. Ignore the fact that they are trying to get under your skin. Ignore the fact that they are trying to push your buttons. So if you're dealing with a parent who is narcissistic or who is a narc, I can understand that you don't want to completely cut them off. I get that. But if you want to try to work with them without having, with having minimal contact or, the very bare minimum, yeah, gray rock would probably be my best suggestion. It's just, being a rock. Like you're not, when they're having their antics, when they're going through their emotions, when they're doing certain things that is just like they're acting childish and petty and overbearing, ignore them. Ignore them. Don't bother with them. Don't bother them, and you can just pretty much say, listen, when you decide to grow up and have an adult conversation, I'll be here. And until then, we have nothing to discuss. That's it. That's all you have to do. You don't have to be crazy with it. You don't have to sit there and say, or get rah-rah with them or get crazy with them. You don't have to do any of that. It's parents like to do this a lot because they feel like they're entitled. because they're your parents, you know, so they feel entitled to say certain things and do certain things to get under your skin and piss you off or push your buttons because, well, why not? I'm a parent. You're the child. I can say and do as I please, and there's nothing you can do about it. So try me, you know? That's how they are. There's always ways to get around that. Yashua, hamsters are like nice people and rats are like the narcissist. That's one way of putting it. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, rats are survivalists, you know, they're scavengers. They, you know, they try to survive, right? So what do? They go out there by any means necessary, you know, running people over, scaring people, or, you know, trying to rip food out of their hands. I mean, it makes sense. It does, you know, to compare the two because that's exactly how rats are. They're about fending for themselves. That's pretty much what they do. Snakes also. Snakes are about fending for themselves. They, you know, they spend their time hunting their prey. They spend their time, you know, like a narcissist would watch you and study you, and that's what snakes do, you know, and there's really no other way to compare them. There's really no other way to get around that. So unfortunately, guys, these people do exist. These people not only exist, but this is their MO. This is what they do. And you know, I'm not saying that you'll ever have to deal with the person that you dealt with. You don't need you have to ever deal with the narcissist that you've dealt with, but you are more than likely going to run across a few. And you have to be prepared for that. Be prepared for that. Look for the signs. Take your time. Take your time. Look for certain clues. Look for certain signs. You know, if they're trying to rush you, if they're trying to push things forward too fast, that's a red flag. You need to pump the brakes. Okay. If they're showing signs of jealousy too early on in the relationship, like they are really getting, you know, like jealous for whatever, that's another red flag. You have to be careful with that. If they are, you know, talking about like maliciously or, you know, just referring things to their ex or comparing, you know, that's another thing. They compare, like they'll compare the relationships, and clearly a lot of narcissists will try to down talk, like really try to talk crappy about their ex and saying, you know, their exes did X, Y, and Z. See, I here's my thing with that. And I'm gonna explain something because I know that sometimes people say things based on emotions and things like that, but when it comes down to talking about your ex, and you know, and talking about how the relationship ended or whatever the case may be, pay close attention to the kind of people who sit there like really demeaning their ex. Okay. Hi, Lori. Hi, sweetie. Um, Pay close attention to that. And the reason I say that is because, you know, you have people who will share with you that, you know, yes, this person cheated on me and that's why I left. Or this person was, you know, did X, Y, and Z, and this is why I left. You know, they give you clear cut, straight to the point answers, but they're not wasting or spending their time sitting there saying, oh, my ex is, you know, she's a slut. She's this, she's that, and she did X, Y, and Z, and blah, blah, blah. Or my ex, you know, he's a crazy, psychotic kind of person. And he did, you know, you want to you really want to pay attention to how they describe the endings of their relationship. Because if you're dealing with a narcissist, every ex they had was crazy. Every ex they had was jealous. Every ex they had was abusive, especially for you fellas. Especially for you fellas, because you may be dealing with a female narcissist who is so convincing and just will like capture your heart and your sympathy right then and there. That's how convincing they can get. Like you got people who can like really cry on cue. It's crazy. It's really crazy. And they feel no bit of emotions, no sense of empathy, nothing whatsoever. They could just, and the waterworks are coming out. Those are called crocodile tears, guys. Crocodile tears. Okay? Pay very close attention to that. You know, pay attention to how they speak about their ex. Because in the end, when you see certain types of maneuvers, when you see certain types of emotions or whatever the case may be, if you're dealing with a narcissist, chances are they're describing everything, but what they're failing to tell you is it's the other way around. They're the ones who did what they, what they claim the ex did. Okay? So you have to be very, very careful. Yashua, Scorpio act like rat. I can say that true. Well, I mean, listen, and Yashua, we had this conversation last week, and everybody is different. Everyone's different. So I can't go and say that every Scorpio, I don't know if there's any Scorpios here, but that every Scorpio is bad, is dark, are rats. I can't say that. I mean, to every yin there's yang, you know what I'm saying? So every good there's bad, and we have to understand that you got some good Scorpios and you got some bad ones. So you got to figure that out. Okay, figure that out. Narc's complaints are really confessions. Yes. Yeah, especially when they're paranoid, like extremely paranoid, and they're accusing you of doing stuff, and it's like you're sitting there like, what the heck are you talking about? Like, seriously, what do you, Erica, I know you're cheating. Really? Listen, I got looked at like a cheater. I got looked at like I was, like I had the scarlet letter on my chest. Like I'm like, yo, you really think that I'm doing stuff, that I'm going around town, that I'm doing things, that I have someone? Like, come on. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. You're fighting demons, guys, that have nothing to do with you. You find yourself fighting. I found myself fighting so many demons, and I'm wondering, like, all these demons are coming out. Like, what in the world? Why am I fighting? Why am I going through this? Like, why am I dealing with this? And it just has nothing to do with you. So it took me a while to realize that a lot of what I went through was for my benefit. I'm not gonna lie, but all the blame and all the, the internalizing the pain, it's just internalizing everything. And I'm like, what did I do? And it just comes to find out it wasn't me. Like, I have my own issues. I have my own dysfunctions, but I'm taking blame for what someone else had done to him. And I said, I'm not doing that. I am not doing that. I'm not taking blame for what your ex did or what your mom did or what whomever did. I'm not taking blame for anybody else's nonsense. And I had no idea that at the time, the paranoia and everything, I had no idea about that. I'm just sitting there like, I'm saying to myself, why does this person think that I'm doing these things? Or why do they have it in their mind that I'm running around or I'm doing all kinds of stuff? I never understood it. And I spent so much time trying to convince them that I wasn't, that I was being faithful, that I was being loyal, that I was being, caring. And it just got to the point that anytime I would express how I felt, or if I wanted to say something about a situation, it just was like, you can't possibly feel this way. Words would get twisted, blame would get deflected. It just so much unnecessary bullshit. And I was just like, I was like, no, I'm good. Jaquez, I'm a Leo fighter. Well, hey, listen, Leos are known to be, I think Leo's a fire sign, right? They're known to be And yeah, it's so hard to understand this stuff. Yeah, it takes a while. It does take a while. But because I don't know if you've gone through any of my videos, but if you haven't, definitely go through some of them. I have like, so many pertaining to so many different situations. You should definitely check some out and just hit me up if you have any questions. My ex would barely talk for days, and when I stopped trying, she got mad and I stopped calling, then accused me of cheating. Yeah. Oh, Cicely. You know what? I'll tell you something. They do certain things to get not only a reaction out of you, but they want you to show that you care. They want you to show them. It's kind of like that it's that ego thing too. It's like ego stroking and validation, and they want to get you to react to um just to see if like they still like have your attention, if you're willing to keep them in the spotlight. And like I remember and it's crazy because in the beginning of my in the beginning of my last relationship, we had a phone conversation one night, and then that phone conversation didn't end very well. Like it was just really nasty, the attitude. And I'm thinking to myself, why am I getting attitude? Like, what is the problem? And it was like the way he talked to me on the phone was really I was like, oh man, nah, I don't. Let's put it this way. I was so mad that I didn't even bother hitting him up. We would talk every day, texting every day, talking every day. Okay. And that one time he had talked to me really nasty on the phone. And I guess maybe, I don't know. I don't know what the problem was, but I knew at that time, because you notice, like I told you in the beginning, it's always something different. I knew at that time, I was like, no, you're not going to talk to me like that. You're not going to talk to me nasty like that. Like, I just don't like being like, if I'm not being rude to you, you're not going to be rude and nasty with me. But I guess he thought otherwise. And, other people put up with his attitude. Other people sat there and found it to be okay. I mean, they, took it and they will, look at it like, oh, that's just him being who he is. No, you have to know how to talk to people. You have to know how to talk to people. And the way you talk to me, I didn't like it. So I didn't like it. And I refused to communicate with him. I refused to talk to him, especially until he apologized for being nasty towards me, because I didn't warrant that. And then I didn't talk to him the whole day the next day. Didn't say a word to him, because you're not going to talk to me like that. So it ended up us not saying anything at all. And I was kind of hurt, because I figured to myself, well, I wasn't wrong. I wasn't wrong. And, you don't say a word to me. You don't tell me anything. And, you don't even apologize. Like, hey, listen, I know the conversation got heated yesterday. I just wanted to apologize. I didn't get any of that. So the next day I said, no, I said, fuck it. I'm not going to say anything to this man until he apologizes. I'm a very stubborn person. Okay. I'm a very, very stubborn person. And at the end of the day, when you're wrong, you're wrong. And I'm the kind of person that I can think about you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I can think about you morning, noon, and night, and I will not say a word to you, especially when I know you're wrong. And that was the case. And even though it did make me feel some kind of way, I was just like, no, I'm not gonna, say anything. And when it came time to me leaving, when I was leaving work, that man was outside pissed off. He was pissed off because I hadn't said anything. And, he expressed it to me, but I told him, you're not going to talk to me that way. There's a right way and a wrong way to talk to people. And just because the way you talk, it's okay with other people, it's okay with your family. I know you don't talk to your friends that way, because trust me, they would not deal with you if you did. But people, like, if you notice, people that know them, know what kind of personalities they have, know what kind of people they are, they will, like, that's just his personality. That's just who he is. But other people who are not used to it, other people who don't know, will look at that person like, yo, what the hell's your problem? And not come to think of it, I kind of understand why. Honestly, I understand why he was single for a long time. I understand why. I understand why he explained to me about, other people that he tried to date before and it didn't work out. And when I'd asked him, well, what happened? Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. That person just, disappeared. Now I understand why. Because some people were not putting up with this shit. They're not going to put up with that nasty attitude. They're not going to put up with and I told him straight up, I'm not your ex. So you may talk to her that way. You may talk to your family this way. You may even talk to your kid that way. You're not talking to me or my kid this way. And even though, and I'll tell you guys, even though during the relationship, I put up with a lot of stuff, I put up with a lot. Me, I bit the bullet. I took the emotional abuse. I took the verbal. I took everything. The one thing I refused was to ever allow him to even remotely think that he can ever try that on my kid. Because that'd have been the day. That would have been the day. So, yeah, they will do certain things to test you, to push your buttons, because they want to see what the limit is. They want to see how far they can go with it. And the more you put up with stuff, the more, hi, Anna, the more you put up with stuff, the more they're going to keep going. The more you continue to allow it to happen, the more they're going to keep going, and they're going to keep going. And each time as they keep going, it's going to get worse and worse and worse. So you have to be, you have to just kind of like start looking for the flags, guys. Start looking for those red flags, especially if you're going back into the dating world, or if you're going out there and you're dipping your toes in. Just make sure that you look for red flags. Make sure you look for signs, and be clear on what it is you will and will not tolerate. Be clear. And because so many people are becoming aware, a lot of these people will try to switch the game up. They will try to switch it up, especially because more and more people are becoming aware of narcissism, the abuse, and everything that comes behind it. Let's see. Why are the narcissists vengeful even when they are wrong? It's just like what Dear Jen said. It's because they in their mind, you're the one who's wrong. Narcissists, it's their way of the highway. Okay, Yashua, it's their way of the highway. They always have to be in control. They always have to be the ones that have the final say. They have to be the ones that have the final word. And it's pretty much, it's kind of like that drop the mic moment. You know what I'm saying? They have to be the ones to say what they say and do what they do, and then boom, drop the mic and walk away. That's what their take on it is. Okay? Because they always see, the reason they do this also is because in the end, number one, if you call them out on their shit, you are clearly seeing through their mask, and they don't want that. They can't have that. It can't happen. Okay? A lot of the time, they do the things that they do because in the end, they always figure, well, I'll just come back and apologize and, give them a couple of tears and a little sob story and tug on their heartstrings, and they're going to let me back in. They're confident in that. They are so confident that that's what's going to happen. They do not expect you to be in this position where you're trying to learn about things, where you're trying to, you're trying to build yourself up. You're trying to rebuild your confidence. They're not going to tell you, they're not expecting you to do these things. They're expecting you to continuously be in the same spot where they left you. You better still be here where I left you when I come back. Okay, that's how arrogant and egotistical and self-centered and entitled they feel. That's how they feel. That's how they are. And don't get me wrong, though, guys, because just like you have those types of narcissists, you do have other types that fear rejection. They fear it with a passion. So those types of narcissists, instead of saying anything, instead of coming forward or doing anything, they'll just watch you. They'll just watch you. Narcissists are, I wouldn't go as much as saying they're curious people. They're just the type of people that they like to just push the envelope. They really do. How much further can I get away with this, or how much further can I go with this? Or, and I think narcissists, a lot of them have ADD. That's my opinion. They have ADD, some form of ADD, because for it just to constantly like go for something better and just like trash people in the process, like, I'm gonna trash this person because these people over here are stroking my ego and they got me feeling good and they got me feeling nice and blah blah blah. Seriously, that's not some superficial bullshit. Like, I'm just gonna drag you in the mud. I had you for, I don't know, 5, 6 years. I was in your life. I was, doing all kinds of stuff, manipulating you, making you feel inadequate, making you feel like like a little bee and everything. I was doing all this stuff to you. And then now, because I can no longer do it to you, or I'm bored with you, I no longer can get any more energy out of you because I pretty much had you succumb to your knees. And these people over here, because all this time you were making this relationship appear to be the most perfect relationship, and the reason you were doing that was because I was manipulating you, and I was, pretty much gaslighting you and going back and forth with reward and punishing you and making you feel good one minute and then making you feel like shit the next minute, but then I made you feel good the other minute after that. You were sitting there making this relationship look so great between us that it attracted all of these people. And now I got my new supply. And of course, you'll sit there and probably end up blaming yourself for it too. Well, if I hadn't made the relationship seem like something that it wasn't, people now are not going to believe me because all this time I'm putting out there that, we're happy and I'm putting our good times out there. They're not going to believe me. They're going to actually think I'm a bitter person. They're going to actually think that I'm a hateful person. And now, that I can't get over this person because they didn't want to be with me anymore. Complete and utter bullshit, guys. And I'll be the one to tell you that. It is bullshit. The only reason you were sitting there making your relationship appear like it was a good relationship, like you were having a good time with the person that you were in love with, was because that person was pretty much confusing you. And by confusing you, they were kind, love, sweet, and gentle with you one minute, and then acting like assholes or twats the next minute. And because they were blaming you for acting that way towards you, you felt you needed to put the bar up a little more. You needed to go a little bit more and go the distance and try to make them feel better for them not feeling good, which is, you understand what I'm saying? It's like this is just, it's, oh gosh, it's so much bullshit. It's just so much bullshit behind this. It is so much bullshit behind this. And I'm so, like, honestly speaking, I'm just so over it, guys. Like, it's so done for. It really is. You just become so done with it. You're so over it. It's just, it's a vicious cycle. It's a vicious cycle. And it's like, I ask God, why do these people exist? I'm still waiting on my answer, so I don't know yet. But it's just something that you can, Deirdre, I hope I'm saying your name right because I'm kind of bad with names. Can you talk about why some narc women are misogynist? You know what? What I'm going to do, Deirdre, I'm actually going to do, I'm going to do another video on on the female narcissist. Okay, I'm gonna do another because it's little man's bedtime soon. But I'm gonna do another video on the female narcissist, and I think I'm gonna do like a crash course video. I think that's probably the best thing to do, like kind of like when I did the crash course on the discard. I'm gonna do a crash course on the female narcissist. So we're gonna be basically, I'm gonna do every single aspect every single freaking aspect. I will leave no crack or crevice uncovered. And what I need you guys to do, I have an assignment for you guys. What I need you guys to do is come up with as many questions as you possibly can. Okay? Whatever questions, specific questions, whatever questions that you would need answered pertaining to it, because I'm going to include everything in this crash course video. All right? So ask your friends, ask your male friends, what questions they may have on it too, because I'm going to do this complete crash course. And ladies, I'm going to do the same for you. Okay. In doing this video, if you've had female narcissist friends, if you've had female narcissist relatives, if you have, if your mom is a narcissist, or, if you were in same-sex relationships, whatever questions you have, okay, I want you to email it to me. Email me the questions, so that way when I do the video, I make sure, because I already know what I'm going to cover, but I make sure that everybody's questions are covered. Everybody's. I'm not leaving anything out, okay? Nothing out. So yes, Alicia, homework. You guys have homework to do. I want you to really, think about the men and the other women in your life. Think about what experiences they have gone through. Okay. And if you just want to just create the questions yourselves, whatever specific questions you do have. And we're going to do the crash course. We're going to do the female narcissist crash course. I'm going to do that video. And that way, everyone's questions are answered. And any other general questions are also going to be answered. So yes, do that for me, guys. Okay. Amanda put up the email address. I'm also going to put it under the video streams. I'm going to put it under there. We're going to cover this. We're going to cover every single angle and every single aspect. I'm going to have all of you guys scholars in narcology, especially female narcissism, because I know it's a lot. And you know what? I might just include female sociopaths in there as well. Just so that way, all of it's covered up. All of it is, every single detail is covered, because I want you guys to get the most out of this, whatever you can. I want you to get the most out of this. And I want you guys to be able to understand and know what to do the next time if you come around a female. Okay. Any kind of female. I don't care if she comes with a halo over her head and has an ice cream cone and little pigtails. Does not matter. Okay. I will be the first to tell you, don't trust the bitch. But that's my opinion. Okay. So guys, that's going to be what I need you guys to do. I need you guys to write down your questions, email them to me, and I will put it in the video. I will put all the answers in the video. And I'm actually interested to know what kind of questions you guys would have, because I do know that there are a lot of men who have gone through the abuse, and I do know that a lot of them have unanswered questions. So I am definitely going to do that video, but I need you guys to help me with it. Okay. On my podcast, the female narcissist audio clips get the most the most what is not viewers, but the most listeners. Like, I look at my podcast and I look at the numbers, and the female narcissist is crazy. It's crazy. I have the most people listening in on those clips out of all of my clips. So I know there is a lot more to it, guys. And we're definitely going to get down to the bottom of it for you guys. So write down your questions, email them to me. Okay, Amanda put the email address. And again, I'm going to put the email under the stream, and all of the questions you have, I am going to answer for you, and you're going to learn some more stuff as well. All right, guys. So my lovelies, my loves, I want to thank you all for being here tonight with me. you know, your presence makes it all worth it. I was actually going to only try to be on for like maybe an hour, hour and a half the most. But I mean, listen, working with you guys, you know, time flies by. It just flies by. So it's always a great feeling. It's always a great thing. But it's always great being here with you guys and just talking to you guys and knowing the progress with you guys. And, you know, anybody who's going through anything, you know that you can email me, you know, you can send me a message. I will. You're very welcome, Cicely. You're very welcome, sweetheart. You can send me the messages. I'm here. I'm here for you guys. And even if I can't answer right away, you know that I will answer you and help you with whatever it is that you need help with. Alicia, thank you. Yes, I love you too. I love when you guys come, and I love when you guys just, you know, you welcome new people and you guys are here for one another. And that means a lot to me. It does mean a lot to me. You guys are doing something so much bigger and greater than you realize. And the fact that we can all just be here together and do it, and the fact that we can help one another, because I peeped it, guys. I peeped it in the comments when people were answering other people's questions, and that's what it's about. Okay, that's what it's about. It's about helping one another. So I will definitely work on that next video for you guys, giving you all the pertinent information that you need and answering whatever questions it is you have. And like I said, if you need any help with anything, you need someone to talk to, reach out to, you can definitely shoot me a message. I will get to you to the best of my ability as far as time frame is concerned, because, you know, my work schedule does get kind of hectic, but I'm here for you guys, always here for you guys. And I know that the videos have kind of been, I used to always constantly put videos, but now, you know, it's like with work and everything, it kind of slowed down a bit, but I'm gonna get back on it for you guys. So, you know, some stuff has been going on, but you guys know me. Okay, you guys know me. I will not quit. Thank you, Anna. Yeah, I know this schedule changes everything, and you guys know that if you can't be here in the live, it's perfectly fine. Okay, it's perfectly okay. I know you guys have lives too. You guys got things that you need to do. You can always catch it when it's streamed, so do not worry about it. I'm still got love for all of you. Okay, and it's always, you know, there's always room for new people to come in too and become, you know, become part of the family. That's what we look forward to. So guys, I will work on that next video for you guys, okay? Answering any and all questions that you may have. And in the meantime, I am going to get ready for bed. I got to get little man ready for bed also, because it is a school night. So guys, again, thank you all for being here. Thank you so much for the support and the love and helping each other out. This is what I'm here for, and this is what I'm so happy to see. You guys really truly don't know how much of a night you've made for me. So before you leave, please be sure to give a like on the way out. Just 2 seconds, 1, 2. That's it. And definitely check out, you know, anyone who's new, check out the new videos. Well, the latest videos. Check out, you know, all of my other content, all 500,000 of my videos that I put up. And if you have any questions, then just, you know, shoot me a message. I'm here. All right, guys. So I love you all. I wish you all a great night and a great week. Hopefully it'll be a nice, smooth, peaceful week, because what is it? Peace is priority, right? Remember, that's the motto of the year. Peace is priority. And I will be back here next week, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as always. Hopefully by then I will have my new refrigerator and I won't be as stressed out as I was before. So guys, love you all. Have a great night. Good night, Butch. Have a great night to each and every one of you. And I'll see you all next week. All right, guys? Good night, guys. Bye.